And there was nothing wrong with protesting the election on January 6th. And any Democrat, that's right, and any Democrat and any person from the mainstream media and anyone that wants to continue to shame us for January 6th can go to hell.
What's up, everybody? Major Retired Richard Ojeda here, and Marge the Trainwreck Green has emerged again, like the cockroach she is, to defend Donald Trump. It's as if she's defiantly shaking her fist at a can of bug spray, rallying other pests to join her. We all know her track record, from her gazpacho police comment to her space laser theories, but this time she's truly outdone herself. In her latest statement about January 6th, she inadvertently debunks her own arguments while trying to pin the blame on Democrats. Here's what happened. Marge is admitting to helping Donald Trump, who has been accused of felonies.
They stole the election, and I was a newly elected member of Congress, but they stole President Trump's election. And heading into Washington, D.C., I thought to myself, I can't believe this. I'm from Georgia. I knew Georgia voted for Donald John Trump. I knew it. And so I called up some of my friends. I called up Jim Jordan. I called up Matt Gaetz. I called up some others. And I said, we got to get together and do something about this.
She's admitting to being an obstacle and supporting the only president in our nation's history who failed to ensure a peaceful transfer of power. She's on stage at the Turning Point Conference, sounding like she's doing a piss-poor version of Stand By Your Man, desperately trying to suck up to Donald Trump and insult Democratic principles. Marge likes to act like both the victim and the hero, and this is no different. Her comments about January 6th and not wanting to be shamed for it by Democrats are truly shocking. Here we have a member of Congress who promised to uphold and defend the U.S. Constitution, and she's undermining it. Marge, tell another lie before this one gets cold.
But I want to tell you something because I was there myself. Yes, Antifa was involved, but there were also Trump supporters involved as well. And I denounced the violence that happened at the Capitol. It was terrifying, and it shouldn't have happened because it truly did derail our objection efforts, and it put an ugly stain on what MAGA means.
Let's not let her escape the facts, however. Marge the Trainwreck Green wants to talk about stains. And talking about stains, Marge says that on one hand, the attack of a violent and deadly mob that destroyed property and assaulted police officers while insurrectionists urinated in the halls of Congress and rubbed their own crap on the walls was a stain on MAGA. But on the other hand, she claims that she's from Georgia and knew from day one that Trump won the election. Which one is it, you bleached blonde bimbo? Marge the Trainwreck Green has made some stupid public statements about January the 6th. However, there have been reports and allegations about her involvement in the planning of the protest that occurred on that day.
Just finished with our meetings here at the White House this afternoon. We had a great planning session for our January 6th objection. We aren't going to let this election be stolen by Joe Biden and the Democrats. President Trump won by a landslide. Call your House reps, call your senators from your states. We've got to make sure they're on board, and we already have a lot of people engaged. Okay, stay tuned.
In the video, she mentions having a great planning session for our January 6th objection and talks about her role on that day. For Marge the Trainwreck Green, causing chaos isn't new. She was a chaos agent even before being sworn in. Just listen to her own words.
Also, 1 million people coming to Washington, D.C. on January 6th, and I'm very, very proud of all the people that are coming. We have a very important job to do on January 6th. Now, I'm up here in Washington, D.C. I'm getting ready for the week next week. We have a lot going on. You know, on Sunday, January 3rd, I'll be sworn in. But the reason why I'm here in Washington is I'm getting prepared, doing a lot of work, still meeting with a lot of folks and gathering information for our January 6th objection.
Marge the Trainwreck Green doesn't know when to stop either. At the New York Young Republican Club Gala, Green stated, "I got to tell you something. If Steve Bannon and I had organized that, we would have won. Not to mention, it would have been armed. Remember that?"
And I want to tell you something. If Bannon and I had organized that, we would have won.
to mention it wasn't hard.
But that's not all. Green continues to push wild conspiracy theories. She claims the federal government used honeypots to entrap January 6 rioters into committing crimes, yet offers no evidence to support these outrageous claims.
Brave FBI whistleblowers and other whistleblowers that are coming forward and informing our committees about this information. You see, this should never happen. The federal government should never be weaponized against the people and set up honeypots and traps to draw people in and actually take part in making these people commit crimes and then framing the people to set up a narrative against a president. It's wrong. And I believe that's what happened on January 6th.
Her idiotic statements alleging that MAGA supporters were baited into violence only add to the chaos that she creates. Marge the Trainwreck Green may not like being labeled an insurrectionist, but she absolutely should have realized that her pre-January 6 video would remain on social media, shared far and wide. Marge needs to accept responsibility for her actions. It's time for her to put on that shoe and lace it all the way up, assuming her oversized 3 toes will fit. Regardless, Marge continues stirring the pot for donations, banking on the brain-dead Republicans' base to fund her antics. What a pathetic excuse for a human being. She is an absolute sellout, a Trump loyalist and a Putin apologist. She deserves a sail in an orange jumpsuit. Marge, you are a stain on history, and that is an absolute fact. Sappers clear the way, everyone all the way.